For decades, the world believed the United States would dominate the battlefield forever. But behind closed doors, China has been building weapons that could completely rewrite the rules of war. Some of these technologies are so advanced that military analysts now warn they could threaten America in ways no one expected. So in this video, we're going to look at 8 of China's most powerful weapon systems that could dominate the US. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Number 10. The Wing Loong X, the submarine hunter. For nearly a century, the greatest strength of the US Navy has been the silent stealth of its submarine fleet. But in 2025, China unveiled the Wing Loong X, a drone that aims to make the ocean transparent. Unlike manned anti-submarine aircraft that are limited by crew fatigue, this drone can stay airborne for 40 hours straight, loitering over critical maritime choke points and listening for the faintest acoustic signature. You see, the Wing Loong X doesn't just fly, it acts. It can autonomously deploy sonobuoys, analyze sonar data using onboard AI to filter out noise like whales or ships, and if it identifies a target, launch lightweight anti-submarine torpedoes. By deploying these in swarms, China could create a persistent surveillance web in the South China Sea that makes it nearly impossible for a submarine to remain hidden. It turns the U.S. Navy's most expensive stealth assets into visible, vulnerable targets. Number 9. The Starlink-killer, TPG-1000C's microwave weapon. Modern warfare is entirely dependent on satellite constellations like SpaceX's Starlink for communication, GPS, and drone control. China recognized this Achilles heel and developed the TPG-1000C's, a compact but incredibly powerful high-power microwave HPM weapon. Wait, here's why this is a nightmare for the US. Traditional anti-satellite weapons, ASATs, are kinetic. They blow things up and create dangerous space debris that ruins the orbit for everyone. TPG-1000C's is different. It fires a concentrated burst of microwave energy that fries the sensitive electronics of a satellite without physically destroying it. It's silent, it leaves no debris, and it can be used to disable entire swarms of satellites at once. By blinding American GPS and cutting off communication links, China could effectively turn off the US military's eyes and ears before a single shot is fired on the ground. Number 8. The DF-41, a 30-minute doomsday. Another weapon that keeps nuclear strategists awake at night. The DF-41 isn't just a missile, it's a global reset button. We've always relied on the idea of early warning, but this intercontinental ballistic missile can reach any city in the United States in less than 30 minutes. Think about that. By the time the sirens actually start going off in New York or Los Angeles, the window for a meaningful response has already closed. But the real nightmare is the MIRV capability. A single DF-41 doesn't just carry one warhead, it carries up to 10. 10 independent nuclear warheads that can split off and strike 10 different cities simultaneously. Imagine one single launch that can take out the entire eastern seaboard. Because these are mounted on 16-wheel mobile trucks, they are incredibly difficult to track via satellite. They can hide in a tunnel, drive onto a highway, and launch in under 15 minutes. It's a doomsday scenario that ignores all traditional defense shields. Number 7. The Aerial Predator, Next-Gen Stealth. In the skies, China is completely rewriting the rules of engagement. For decades, the US held the stealth crown with the F-22 and F-35. But China has officially closed that gap. Their latest designs aren't just about being invisible to radar. They are designed to be aerial predators that use artificial intelligence to command the battlefield. The fresh perspective here is how these jets use drone swarming. The pilot of a next-gen Chinese fighter isn't just flying a plane. They are commanding a fleet of autonomous AI combat drones that fly alongside them. These drones can be sent into high-risk areas to soak up enemy fire, jam communications, or perform suicide runs, all while the manned jet stays safe and undetected. With massive operational ranges, these flying command centers can operate anywhere in the Western Pacific, engaging enemy aircraft before our pilots even know they're in a fight. Number 6. The end of gunpowder, electromagnetic weapons. Imagine a battlefield where you never hear a gunshot. China has materialized a technology that militaries have dreamt of for decades: fully functional electromagnetic weaponry. This isn't your standard gunpowder gear. Instead of relying on chemical explosions, these weapons use massive bursts of electricity and magnetic coils to accelerate projectiles to supernatural speeds. Wait, here's why this matters. A traditional bullet is limited by the speed of expanding gas. An electromagnetic projectile has no such limit. We're talking about 3,000 rounds per minute, 50 shots per second with zero sound, zero muzzle flash, and zero recoil. This changes everything for stealth and special operations. A soldier or a drone equipped with a coil gun is essentially a ghost. You can fire continuously for hours, and because there's no explosion, there's no heat signature for thermal cameras to pick up. It is the literal end of conventional ballistics. Number 5. Directed energy, lighting up the sky. If silent rifles weren't enough, China has pivoted heavily into directed energy weapons, essentially battlefield lasers. The appeal here is the speed of light. In traditional defense, you have to calculate a lead on a moving target, accounting for wind and gravity. With a laser, you just point and click. These high-power systems are designed to disable drones, melt missile sensors, or fry the electronics of enemy satellites. China has been testing vehicle-mounted versions that can shoot down incoming threats much faster than any conventional anti-air gun. It offers surgical precision. Instead of blowing up a whole plane, you can use a laser to blind its camera or melt a single wing flap. As drone warfare becomes the new standard, these limitless ammunition laser systems are becoming the ultimate shield. But before we jump into the top 4 weapons on this list, the ones that are actually shifting the global balance of power as we speak, take a second to hit the like button and subscribe. We're deep diving into the tech that will define the next decade of history, and you don't want to miss our next analysis. Number 4. The Fujian, a declaration of naval war. For 80 years, the US Navy has owned the oceans. The Fujian aircraft carrier is China's formal declaration that those days are over. At 80,000 tons, this isn't just a big ship, it's a technological rival to the American Ford-class carriers. The secret sauce here is the EMALS, the Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System. Most carriers in history used steam catapults, which are loud, slow, and require massive amounts of maintenance. The Fujian's electromagnetic catapults can launch heavy, fully armed stealth fighters every 90 seconds. This allows for a much higher operational tempo, meaning China can put more planes in the air, faster, than almost any other navy on Earth. When you combine this carrier with their new Type 055 destroyers, you have a battle group that can create a 200-kilometer no-go zone for any enemy. Number 3. The H-6N, the Ghost Bomber. At first glance, the H-6N bomber looks like a relic from the 1950s. But don't let the classic airframe fool you. What's inside and underneath is terrifying. The H-6N has been modified to be a standoff predator. It doesn't need to fly over an enemy city to destroy it. The fresh angle here is its role as a hypersonic launch platform. The H-6N can carry massive air-launched ballistic missiles or hypersonic glide vehicles. This means it can take off from mainland China, fly into the middle of the Pacific, and launch a weapon from 3,000 kilometers away. The bomber stays safe behind its own air defenses while its payload travels at 10 times the speed of sound toward a target. It's a long-reach strategy that turns the entire Pacific Ocean into a shooting gallery where the enemy is always out of range. Number 2. The Type 99 main battle tank. On the ground, China has achieved something many believed impossible, creating a tank that can face the legendary American M1 Abrams on equal terms. The Type 99 isn't just an armored box, it's a high-tech land hunter. It uses a massive 125mm cannon and a fire control system that allows it to nail targets with surgical precision while bouncing across rough terrain at 70 kilometers per hour. But here's the truly chilling part. The Type 99 is equipped with active laser technology designed to blind the enemy. If an enemy anti-tank operator tries to lock onto the Type 99 with a missile, the tank can fire a laser pulse that destroys the optics of the missile, or even the eyesight of the operator. It's like having a tank that can literally punch back at the person aiming at it before they even pull the trigger. With over 1,200 of these monsters in service, they form an iron fist that would be nearly unstoppable in a conventional ground war. Number 1. The DF-17, the unstoppable carrier killer. Finally, we reach the weapon that has forced the Pentagon to publicly acknowledge that the game has changed. The DF-17 hypersonic missile. This is the materialization of a new era in warfare where traditional defense rules simply don't apply. Traditional ballistic missiles follow a predictable arc, like a basketball being thrown. You can calculate where they'll land. Hypersonic weapons like the DF-17 are different. They don't just move at Mach 10 over 12,000 kilometers per hour. They maneuver. They glide through the atmosphere, changing course and altitude unpredictably. No current anti-missile system on Earth can intercept a target moving that fast, which can also dodge. American military analysts have openly admitted that a volley of these could destroy all 10 U.S. aircraft carriers in the Pacific in just 20 minutes. It is the ultimate asymmetric weapon, a relatively cheap missile that can sink a multi-billion-dollar ship and change the course of a global conflict in a matter of seconds. Final thoughts. The cost of innovation. The weapons we've looked at today, from tanks that shoot lasers to missiles that outrun the speed of thought, prove one thing: the balance of power has been completely rewritten. China has moved past the copycat phase and is now setting the pace for the future of warfare. The concern isn't just about the hardware, it's about the strategy. By investing in drones, cyber warfare, and hypersonic tech, China has created an equalizer that keeps its enemies at arm's length. They don't need to be better in a traditional sense. They just need to be too expensive to fight. So, here's the real question. In a world where a $20,000 drone or a $1 million missile can destroy a $13 billion aircraft carrier, are we even prepared for what the next war looks like? Or are we still building a military for a world that no longer exists? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Which of these technologies do you think is the true game changer?